Hello, this is Max. A madman chooses a new mother for his son. Everyone dresses up as dolls. Whoever fails the task dies until the best one remains. Don't forget to subscribe. The opening scene takes place in Natchez, Mississippi in 1961, where we meet Mr. Van Wirt, a prosperous businessman who runs a toy company. He is interviewing Coby for a secretary position. During their conversation, Mr. Wirt discusses his belief that God sought perfection in creating humans from dust and that a plastic doll, lacking a soul, cannot sin. He suggests that if humans were like dolls, God would be even more pleased. Despite Coby's impressive resume, Mr. Wirt informs her that she is not suitable for the role. As she begins to argue, a man intervenes from behind, and the scene ends with the camera pulling away. Later, Coby wakes up to find herself in a house filled with life-size dolls. Mr. Wirt soon appears, introducing her to his custom-built dollhouse and informing her that she will be staying there for the next 7 days. He reveals that her impressive qualifications were too good for a secretary position, so he has hired her as a pageant instead. Despite her protests, Mr. Wirt insists she has no other option. In her panic, Coby attempts to escape but is restrained by Eustace, Mr. Wirt's mute guard. As Mr. Wirt prepares to leave, Coby begs him not to abandon her, but he reassures her that she won't be left alone. Soon after, Coby discovers that the life-size dolls are actually real people, dressed in doll-like costumes with masks and posed as if frozen. When she inquires about the situation, one of the dolls named Aurelia explains that they'd been kidnapped by a deranged toy maker obsessed with dolls. Mr. Wirt is seeking a perfect doll to find a mother for his son, Otis Van Wirt. To achieve this, he subjects them to various tests in a pageant, with those who fail facing dire consequences. Another doll, Harleen, suggests that Coby rest before her first task, but Coby remains focused on trying to escape by checking the doors and windows. Harleen empathizes, recalling her own initial reaction when she was first brought there. Coby wonders if the disappearance of interviewees might attract legal attention. Harleen explains that the dolls come from varied backgrounds. Aurelia was a dancer, Faye a kindergarten teacher, and Bonnie was taken directly from her home. She warns Coby that escape attempts are futile because the house is designed like a fortress. During their conversation, Harleen reveals that Otis's mother, Ellen, supposedly died 2 years ago from drowning in a swamp, but Coby suspects this isn't true. Harleen then discloses that Mr. Wirt discovered his wife with another man and had both of them disposed of. As a result, Mr. Wirt had Eustace throw both Ellen and her lover into a well. Since that tragic event, Mr. Wirt has been fixated on finding the perfect mother for his son. This realization makes Coby understand that winning the pageant is her only chance to escape. Their conversation is cut short by a loud bell. Harleen quickly tells Coby to put on a specific outfit, take her place, and remain still until instructed otherwise. Soon after, Otis arrives and engages with Coby. He expresses his dislike for clowns and orders Eustace to dispose of her. To save herself, Coby performs a magic trick, making Otis's fire truck move on its own, revealing her telekinetic abilities and impressing the boy. Later that night, Aurelia inquires about how Coby made the fire truck move. Coby explains that she learned the trick from her uncle, who was a magician. Aurelia, feeling envious, accuses her of lying to win the pageant. Coby insists that she has no desire to become Otis's mother, as it would also mean becoming Mr. Wirt's wife. Aurelia, however, thinks that winning the pageant might give her time to devise an escape plan. Their discussion is interrupted by an alarm, signaling the start of a new test. Mr. Wirt gathers everyone around a dining table and presents the menu: crawfish cardinal and terrapin soup. He then instructs them to set the table correctly within 1 minute. If they succeed, they will be deemed a perfect housewife. Everyone rushes to set the table, eager to win the task. Aurelia manages a flawless setup, while Coby, struggling to keep up, accidentally knocks over a water glass. When the time is up, Mr. Wirt inspects each setting with a cattle prod in hand. Aurelia passes the test, while Harleen and Coby receive scores of 2 and 4, respectively. Faye, who makes the most mistakes, is punished with the cattle prod and then thrown into the well. This harsh outcome highlights the high stakes and the necessity for perfection to ensure survival in the dollhouse. The next morning, Otis visits the dollhouse and plays with Coby. She performs the magic trick of making his fire truck move once again. When Otis inquires further about the trick, Coby claims it's a special gift she was born with, saying she is unique just like him, as he doesn't go to school and plays with dolls. Otis confides that he left school after being bullied by both classmates and teachers. As their conversation continues, Otis expresses his desire for Coby to become his new mom. Coby promises to be the best mom if Otis can persuade his father to free the other dolls. That night, Otis tries to talk to his father but overhears him on the phone, discussing the need for more time to boost sales of his hand-sewn dolls. Seeing his father in a foul mood, Otis hesitates to bring up Coby's request. The next day, the bell rings, signaling the start of a new test. The dolls quickly put on their costumes in preparation. Shortly after, Mr. Wirt enters the dollhouse and introduces the next test. To pass, the dolls must blend an ironing spray and fold a shirt perfectly. He provides a brief history of Monsieur Seydoux, the proprietor of Dauphine Street Laundry, before starting the 3-minute timer. The dolls work frantically to complete the task. When time runs out, Mr. Wirt begins evaluating their work, starting with Harleen, who earns 3 points. Upon inspecting Coby's shirt, Mr. Wirt finds it excessively stiff and scorched. As punishment, he forces Coby to place her hand on the ironing board and presses it with a hot iron. Despite the intense pain, Coby remains silent. Aurelia passes the test as expected, while Bonnie is eliminated due to her shirt's foul odor. Mr. Wirt announces that there will be a final task the following day, and the best performer will be declared the winner. Afterwards, Harleen helps Coby tend to her wounds. During this, she points out that Mr. Wirt seems to have a special interest in Coby, noting that he could have eliminated her for scorching the shirt but chose not to. Aurelia overhears their conversation and decides to kill Coby. She grabs a metal spike and heads to Coby's room, stabbing it through what she believes is a clown costume, only to find it's a mannequin. Harleen and Coby then reveal themselves, showing they knew about her plan all along. Furious, Aurelia admits she doesn't want to die. Coby reassures her that neither of them has to die because there's an escape plan, and they can simply walk out through the front door. Aurelia warns that Eustace will come after them, but Coby assures her they can escape before their plan is discovered. The next day, the 3 women dress mannequins in doll costumes and hide behind curtains. Mr. Wirt and Eustace arrive at the dollhouse to announce their final task. While Mr. Wirt talks to the mannequins, Coby uses her telekinesis to unlock the exit door, allowing the trio to slip out. Outside, Coby decides to keep her promise to be Otis's best mother, while Aurelia and Harleen make their escape. Coby then heads into Mr. Wirt's mansion to find Otis. Mr. Wirt asks a biblical question and, upon receiving no answers, realizes the mannequins are just that. Meanwhile, Coby finds Otis in the mansion and asks him to come with her, explaining that his father is ill. However, Otis surprises her by using a cattle prod, which causes her to collapse. Meanwhile, Harleen trips and falls, and she begs Aurelia for help. Aurelia plans to kill Harleen for being too slow and noisy. She picks up a large rock to smash Harleen's head but is shot from behind by Eustace, who then kills Harleen as well. Later, Coby regains consciousness, restrained to a table. Mr. Wirt stands next to her, congratulating her on winning the pageant. He reveals that Otis's vintage doll has a porcelain head with a hearing device, which allowed him to learn about their plan. As a result, Mr. Wirt created a final test of faith to see who would risk their lives for his son. He reveals that a large doll mold will be pressed against Coby, encasing her in porcelain. Her distress causes her telekinetic powers to flicker the lights, but is not enough to help her escape. In the next scene, Coby, now in doll form, is seen serving tea to Mr. Wirt and Otis. At this moment, 2 robed women appear before them. The robed women are revealed to be witches from Miss Robichaux's academy. They use their powers to freeze Mr. Wirt and Eustace and break the doll mold, freeing Coby. A young witch explains that they would have arrived sooner, but Coby's spells were too weak. Coby, puzzled, learns that she is one of them and that they are here to rescue her. Otis pleads not to be left behind, so Coby agrees to take him with her on the condition that he never returns to his father. As they leave, the witches burn down Mr. Wirt, Eustace, and the dollhouse with a mere flick of their hands. In the final scene, Coby drops Otis off at Miss Robichaux's academy. Before leaving, she advises him to use a different name for his safety. Just then, a girl approaches, and Otis introduces himself as Spaulding before heading inside with her. If you are interested in such films, please proceed to the next video on the screen, and also share your thoughts about this film in the comments. Give us a like and subscribe. Goodbye.